absolute favorite things to do is get lost in a good thriller. I'm talking about those edge of your seat, stay up way too late, page turning kind of stories. There's something about the suspense and not knowing what's coming next that completely pulls me in. For me, reading isn't just entertaining, it's grounding. It challenges your thinking, expands your perspective, and sometimes getting wrapped up in the literary world simply gives you the perfect escape from the noise of everyday life. It's the love of stories that draws me to one of my most treasured places. This is a bookstore and book bug. Located in Kalamazoo, this place is pure magic. It's warm, welcoming, and filled with a real sense of community. I've spent hours there discovering books I didn't even know I needed. It's the kind of place where you might bump into a friend, get an amazing recommendation from someone on staff, and somehow walk out with a stack of books you didn't plan to buy with many reasons to come back soon. Shopping there is nothing like buying from a big online retailer. When you support This is a Bookstore and Book Bug, you're investing in something real, local, and personal. You're part of keeping independent bookstores alive, and that matters. The best part, you don't have to live in Kalamazoo to experience it. You can order online at bookbugkalamazoo.com or call them at 269 385 2847. If you're ordering for a school, they're fantastic at tracking down hard to find titles and can help build a classroom library tailored to your students or subject. And if you're placing a large order, whether it's one title or multiple, ask for Book Bug Bulk to receive a discount. I guarantee you'll enjoy your visit to This is a Bookstore and Book Bug. And when you do, be sure to tell them who sent you. Now, on with the show.
This is going to be the last new episode of Season 2 of Lessons We Forgot. I'm planning on dropping a few throwback episodes in the feed while I'm off on adventures. I'm calling them Summer School, and I'm going to add a little extra lesson that I forgot to mention the first time around. I'll be back in time for the beginning of next school year with Season 3. So for the last time this school year, this is Lessons We Forgot, and this episode is called Sunsets. We've all seen a sunset before. There is something so mesmerizing about witnessing the changing colors dancing around the sky. And just like listening to your favorite song, waiting until the very end of a sunset, even though you know what is going to happen, is definitely mandatory if you want to get the most out of the experience. Even though they happen all the time, each sunset is just as magical as the last. In fact, a few special ones might immediately come to mind when I mention them. The last one of a great trip, or the last one of the summer, will of course always be a little bittersweet. Other times, being on the beach or on a boat, or really anywhere near the water, tends to make sunsets even more spectacular to see and even more remarkable to experience. And except for driving down the road with one directly in your line of sight, there aren't really too many times when you wouldn't want to see one. While beautiful, sunsets mark the end of something. In one glorious display, they close the book on a wonderful night, or maybe on an even longer chapter of your life. It's the end of another year. This one is probably no less memorable than any other ones you've had. If it's your first or your last year teaching, it will surely hold an extra special place for you. But for all of us, this ending will share a lot in common with the other ones we've already experienced. The whiteboards are erased, the posters are all taken down, the books are cataloged properly, and the accounts have been settled. Your grades have been finalized, candy is fully distributed at this point, and you might even be ready to lock your door and step into the summer right as you're hearing this. And as we close up our classrooms for the year, we'll close the book on one more chapter in the story of our teaching careers. The sun is about to set on this school year, but before it does, let's take a little time to enjoy the show we just witnessed. This year, you were probably introduced to many new colleagues. Once you made it through the getting to know you phase, you found out who they were and what they added to your team. If you're like me, you can't wait to see what they can do now that they know what your school is all about. I saw several of my friends here at school take big steps, personally or professionally this year. They became leaders, they jumped a lane on the pay scale, they honed their craft a little more, almost to the point when they might consider themselves master teachers. You're already there, don't worry about it. But don't stop improving. Others took big steps that most of us didn't see. That might be because they accomplished something that was outside of school, it was intensely personal, or they didn't want to talk about it, maybe because they still have a few more steps to go before they reach their final destination. Others took a step back, but for all the right reasons. They prioritized family, they stopped saying yes to everything, or they decided to focus on what called them to this profession in the first place. At the same time, some of us barely made it to the last day of school. That's not calling anyone out. That's just the reality of teaching middle school. We have been pushed to the edge. We've been criticized and scrutinized, and we've gone above and beyond any reasonable expectation of us. So whether you thrived or just survived, we're all here together right now. So while the sun is getting really low, don't miss out on the last few magical moments. Whether you connected with all of your students or just one, don't let them leave the building without letting them know about it. Our teams and departments shift from year to year. New faces are a constant in this profession. Make sure your teams know how much you appreciate them before you leave. Most importantly, as the kids leave your room and then the building, as they practically dance their way into the summer, take it all in. Experience it all the way to the end. And yes, it is just like all the other ones, but that doesn't make it any less magical. Before we wrap up for the season, I have a few people to thank. Thank you, Reggie Ferguson, for the theme song. Thank you, Mary Haskin, for the logo and help with digital media. Thank you, Ron Northrup, for the physical media. Thank you, Bryn Newstead, for helping me get my social media launched this year. Thank you, Bookbug of Kalamazoo and Western Michigan University, for giving me a chance to promote the podcast in person. And to my wife, Christy, thank you for being the inspiration to do this in the first place and for always encouraging me to share my voice. Now, like I said in the intro, I'm going to take the summer off for a little rest and recharge and for a few adventures. I'll be dropping a few updated older versions every couple weeks with new lessons I learned since I posted them the first time. Have a great summer. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Lessons We Forgot. I'm the host, Chris Winkle. You can contact me at lessonsweforgot@gmail.com, and you can follow the show or message Lessons We Forgot on Facebook. Either way, I'd love to hear from you and welcome you to our community. If you really enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with a friend. That is the best way to help grow the podcast. If you want to hear more Lessons We Forgot, I post new episodes on Sunday nights. Make sure you subscribe to follow the show on whatever podcast platform you use. And when you rate the show, like an episode, or leave a comment, we can reach even more listeners. If you hate ads just like me, I do have a Patreon site, patreon.com/lessonsweforgot, and for only $1 a month, you can get the show without ads. You can try that out right now for free to see if it's something you'd be interested in. Thanks again for your support.